that was a big dud. But I'm not sending Dan Iasonia a Christmas card anytime soon. I'm taking nothing away from Logan Webb because he was absolutely filthy, and our pitching staff would have had to hold him to -3 runs for us to have a chance in this game. But there's no way that was the same zone that Max Fried and Logan Webb had. And that's the one thing you want as a fan, as a player, as anyone involved in baseball, consistent zone both sides, and it was not that. Max Fried, once again, kind of struggled to get into his outing, was able to work around a soft single by Fitzgerald and 2 stolen bases to put up a 0 in the first, but came back to bite him in the second. Carnacion single on 3-2, mislocation fastball, and then the batter that's gonna bug Max the most today is probably Yaz, lefty. Had him 2 strikes a few times in big situations and couldn't get him. Really good piece of hitting single on a down slider that he wanted down and away, but it came down and in, and Yaz was able to adjust. And then Casey Schmid single, so bases loaded, no outs. You get Kurt Casale swinging, and then the youngster McCray bunts. It was a terrible bunt, but with Encarnacion bearing on Travis d'Arnaud, a glove flip by Max, and the ball popped out of Travis's glove. So instead of 2 outs and no runs, you got 1 run, and then 2-strike pitch to Fitzgerald. Too sweet, was able to get a sac fly, 2-0. Was able to get out of it, and then the only real chance the Braves had was the top of the 4th, Monday Mike single, and a really bad call on a grounder by Riley. They called that Fitzgerald dropped it before the transfer, but I think it was the transfer. But what I'm angry about is, I know the strikeout bug kind of bit Ozuna, but he had a terrible strike zone. Should have been a 4-pitch walk. Logan Webb got 4 inches, back-to-back pitches on changeups, down, that weren't even close to being strikes. So it should have been bases loaded, no outs. Instead, Ozuna gets 6 balls in a bat and strikes out. And then Matt Olson, a big-time 9-pitch battle, absolutely scorches one. And Mark Canha somehow snags a 105-mile-an-hour rocket for an unassisted double play. And that's basically all she wrote. Although I'm really happy that Max was able to figure some things out, get into the 6th inning, but again, had Yaz 2 strikes with a couple outs in the 6th, walks him, and then Jesse Chavez comes in, gives up a 2-run blast to Casey Schmid, just a hanging slider. Father time, or just Jesse's had a lot more clunkers than we're used to seeing him in a Braves uniform. We'll just put it that way. And then gave up a solo blast to McCray, dead central, to make it 6-0. And Logan Webb pretty much cruised, pitched into the 8th inning, gave up a walk to Liriano and a soft single to Whit Merrifield, but in the 8th, but Michael Ayers flew out to left to end that threat, and we really didn't have any rallies to speak of other than the 4th and the 8th, but it was kind of out of hand quickly, and we had a lot of things going against us. Sweeping a 4-game series is really hard. The blowout win yesterday, you never usually back that up depending on the starter. Plus, Logan Webb is Logan Webb, one of the more underrated starters. So it was going to be a tough climb today, but you can't face Logan Webb and the umpire and baseball at the same time. It's just a rough go, and that's what it was today. But still a series win. Check. As always, go Braves, champions forever.